Hello everyone. The topic for the day is performance leadership, ensuring that the team members excel in education. So it's all about team building, it's all about communication, it's everything that relates to performance of. So we will understand the leaderships and the management skills. Managements as in the hard skills and leadership as in the soft skills. So under soft skill is all about communication, motivation, stress management, team building, and change management. These are the five aspects that needs to be notified and probably will come under the purview of this particular session. Now, management is all about scheduling, staffing, actively analysis, project control, and so on and so forth. So managers can have following attributes. One, they can consider alternatives options. They need to understand the escalation of cost and the control of the cost thereby. Establish the risk parameters of the organization. Define a definitive schedule of a project. Includes decision making. It's all about change in an orderly fashion. It's all about keeping in tune with the things, keeping the team motivated, reviewing responsibilities and goals, and state clearly on the basis for evaluation where what person is supposed to do. It is the job and role match that these managers has to design around it. So the following attributes, what do they do as far as an execution is concerned? They need to keep a quick tab on the operation part of it. Set directions, expected achievement that needs to be done. Individuals over a period of time. It might be a week, it might be a month, and so on and so forth. At the same time, have those administrative work. Administrative works are all about logging the notes, ensuring that there's complete coordination among the team members, the ease of flow of the resources, availability of resources, and allocation thereof needs to be done. Definitive reports to the senior management and the money and job security that plays a major role in the management effectiveness. This is what we are looking at it. Remember, this is what we are finding it hard to tap upon. So, being a leader, what do you want to do? You have to assume that everything that happens in a situation should be within your control. Control is one of the major attributes of the leader. They needs to be conveyed that whatever you have been working upon, how you were in exemplifying, whatever behaviors you portray, you are being judged as such. It's the attitude that needs to be monitored. That what you think in your private life, what you do in your public life, they are all correlated, they are all in unison, so you have to be as transparent and probably reap the benefit in your professional life. What you are, what you think, what you believe should be notified. If you have never met a challenge, you will never find what most about it. So let us understand the recipe of a definitive leadership. Probably the factor that makes him or her a successful one. First and foremost thing is they have a complete control over your life. Assume the responsibility for what you are, for who you are. It is your identity that has been defined. If that is what a leader's quality should be all about it. The leader should be definite about the identity that you're looking into it, conveys a positive and a dynamic attitude in everything you do. Accept blame, learn from your own mistakes. A leadership would be learning from its own mistake. A successful leaders would be learning from somebody else's mistake. So that is what we are looking about it. Do not blame the situation. Do not blame anyone else. But if things go wrong, the leader owns up the mistake. Give credit where it is due, which is all about it. Be compassionate when you review your team performances. When you're talking about your team members, be lenient to them. Take their faults in your stride and their success, award them, incentivize them, reward them, recognize them. So that is what makes a wonderful leader. You know, you have to think great thoughts. Small thinking is why companies go broke and probably are not able to distinguish themselves. Turn disasters into opportunities, turn every problem, every obstacle that you meet into an opportunity to show your prowess, show your skills, determine your real goal, then strive to achieve them. When you want to tell someone important, do it. do it very personally. Don't make it a public hue and cry. Do not insult the person in any fashion. Do not be afraid to get your hands dirty when you what you ask others to do. Absolutely be clear with it. This is what we are looking about it. So that is what the recipe of the great leader would of all be around. Then we talk about the other requisite qualities is to listen effectively, encourage teamwork and participation, empower team members, communicate effectively, have a long-term productivity goals in place, make sound and timely decision. This is what it all counts about it. Treat every team members with dignity. Treat them as an individual. Do not demean any one of them. Know yourself, know your team members, know their strengths, know their pluses, know their weaknesses, their minuses, and if possible, always protect them. This will encapsulate them with all the tribulation that a leader should always have it. This will read amount a lot of amount of trust and faith among the leaders, among the subordinates or the followers. They will go out and vouch for you. They will work. They will go beyond the skin and work and get things done for being leaders. That is what we are looking about it. It is a holistic communication. Remember, a leader is a noun verb. It is a form, it is a semblance, it is a counterpart with regard to it. Let us understand the person is an image of an engineer. Absolutely all of us look into it. Simile, metaphor, mental representation. Every time we think about an engineer, of us that matter, every time we think about a doctor, what is that a brain encapsulate, what kind of image that it forms in thing. There is a definitive impact, opinion, impression about everything. Remember, image is everything. The way you talk, the way you dress, the way you act, that is your attitude, work and play. So holistic communications are: do you give warm fuzzies? Do you smile a lot? Something a vibration, warm vibration, or do you hand out cold pickles, or frown, or probably scold, or probably even shout a lot, or speak loudly? When person think about you, do they equate their image with a dynamic, interested, competent person that comes around it? Or do people think you are merely occupying a spot of the universe? And that is what we are looking at. So, what are your personal career objectives? What you look at it? Remember to identify the problems and create winning solution. To lead effectively with inspirations and to motivate. To be in control of your world, to make things happen for you, to manage your personal resources as effectively and efficiently as it can be done around it. Remember, holistic communication is as if you are owning the company, as if you are to be the millionaire, which you might not be in the first place. It is when you own up the situation to yourself and take everything within your sleeves, that is when you people will start facing you and probably trusting you and instilling a sense of urgency in their approach towards the work. Leaders are the one who will own up the problem. Leaders are the one who will inspire the followers. Leaders are the one who will take the problem, the bull by its horn in terms of a problem is all about it. It is all about the aspect or the attitude of the person that believes in it. The way you stand, the way you sit indicates whether you are an open person or whether you are approachable, whether you are a close person, says whether you are friendly, tells other whether you are a good team player or a bad team person, always who has been aloof altogether, suggests whether you are frank and honest. Tell others what you really think about your mind, shows whether you are part of the teams and so on and so forth. This is what we are looking at it. We need to understand what exactly where we stand and how as a person can we draft the situation in our favor. The way you dress indicates your conventional ideas, indicates about your confidence, shows how neat you are, how collective you are, how punctual you are, how fit with the company's culture that you have. Makes a statement not about yourself or your upbringing also. It's the image that you carry, it's the perception that you cultivate, shows indirectly whether how much you have faith in yourself and trust in yourself. The way you write as a leader, what we'll be doing about it is convey whether you are warm or friendly, tells whether you are dynamic or energetic, is the way your handwriting state about it, conveys the image of you as an either intuitive or problem solving, all logical, says whether you want to communicate with others, says whether you want to avoid conflict or seek it, says whether you are materialistic or idealistic as the case might be. Remember, as far as holistic communication is concerned, everything that you do, everything counts. People observe, it adds up to your overall persona. If you want to achieve greatness in your objectives, you have to communicate holistically. It's not the words that you spurt out, it's the way you carry yourself, the way you dress yourself, the way you write, the way you present yourself tells a lot about it. It is the image that you project that leads to success. You can change the way you appear to others by just changing your behavior pattern. You want to change your behavior pattern, you must change everything about yourself. Remember, this is what we need to go. So, what is the bottom line for you? If you want to have the control on your environment, you must make every setback an opportunities, every problem a source of sustenance, every drawback a way to redeem yourself. That is what you want to look around it. You can be anything you want. You can be anything, absolutely anything. First, decide what you want to be, because it is up to you what you will be eventually. You can become the person, dress the person, talk like the person, act like a person, write like the person you want to be, you aspire to be, you idolize as such. So if you start believing in it, start practicing on it, will become the person. Interpersonal communication, we'll talk about the personality aspects all together. Way back, Carl Jung was a Swiss born psychologist, almost a class fellow of Sigmund Freud, the immensely popular psychologist. We in the first half of the century formulated personality term, which is ISTG TJ, is which we'll be talking about introvert and extrovert, ISTJ or ESTJ, as we all as in personal interactive object is classification of Catherine Briggs and her daughter Isolde Briggs Mayer. It is developed a procedure of understanding the Myers-Briggs type indicator, or popularly known as MBTI. Very popular. It is one of the indicators that is absolutely available in the net, and if you want to do any personality profiling, MBT indicators is one of the dominant thing that comes around it. Remember, it tells you into four pairs of preferences, which leads to 16 types of personalities. That means 4 into 4 would be 16 types of that comes around it. So let us talk about it one by one, smallly giving you a brief idea about what extrovertism is. What will be, it's a type E, which is sociable about 75% of the time. Percent of the time, it is expends energy, interacts freely with others. On the introvertism, if they are or type I or are very territorial about themselves, about 25% of the time they would be conserving energies, reads or probably meditates, resolves problem as the case might be. So they are very territorials, and they are not that sociable as extroverts are all about it. So are you an energized person around people? Do you like to meet people? Do you like to greet people? Do you like to talk with people? Do you like to interact with people? How loud do you say words? How open are you? This is what is an extrovert behavior is all about it. Alternatively, if you shy with people, does meeting people apprehends you? Are you not confident in front of unknown people? Do you like to write more than respond verbally? When I say write, you write your emails, but will not like to talk. Probably even if you want to talk, you would like to talk via mobile or via phone, not in person. If that is the thing where you shy away from interaction, you are supposedly an introvert person. So we have said about the intuitive types, type N, and sensitive type E. We have already said about extrovert, which is E, and introvert, which is I. And now we are talking about N as in intuitive, and type S as in sensitive. So this is all about being type intuitive people would be 25% ingenious, future oriented, fantasize, imaginative. S would be sensitive, sensing people, wherein 75% of the time they would be based on experiential learning, based on orientations, utility, sensible. Now, do you see the world through your senses? Do you see with your brain or with your heart? You need to understand. You do you believe on the? Do you like to work on facts before starting work? Do you like to deal with the details of the project? If you are sensing personality. Similarly, remember, similarly, if you think you can look at the big picture in terms of concepts and idea rather than on it, information, then it is all about intuitions. You are drawing a picture probably with the end. So then we come into the TF, thinking type and the feeling type. Again, did I say what do you do about it? This in thinking type, each is almost an impersonal. However, probably you're talking about objective, judgmental, logical orientations, rules, law, justice, firmness that comes around it. Thinking about feeling type is type F personality, 50% emotional judgment, value oriented, persuasion, sympathy, devotion, and so on and so forth. Note, both types can react to the same emotional intensity. You need to understand whether you follow the rules and how do you feel about the rules. You know how to hide your feelings, get on with the job. That is what thinking is all about it. On the other hand, if you inject a personal note into things, on whatever you do, that is what we are looking into as a feeling type. Basically, you're portraying everything as to the as what is happening around it. So we talk about the judging perceptive type. Closures including about 50% settling, deciding upon the work come first, planning well ahead of time, urgency, deadline, and get it done. Perceptive is getting more data, 50% pending, flexible, adaptable, let it happen, open ended, tentative, and so on and so forth. Do you like to set up schedule to meet deadlines? Make a list of a quick decision in order to get on to the next job altogether. That is what the judging behavior is. Are you really adaptable? Do you collect more information? If so, then you are more perceptive. Absolutely perceptive in time. Did I say about 16 types? See, one, two, three, four, and again one, two, three, four. So we have a classification of general population as far the personality is concerned. 4 into 4 is the 16 type personality which comes around it. On the x-axis is sensing type and intuitive type, which has been further been fragmented into the thinking and the feeling patterns, which is and the intuitive it will be a feeling and thinking pattern if you look into it. Similarly, for an introvert and extrovert, it is all about your judgment and perception that comes around it. This is what we are looking into it. Yes, judgment and perception. And mixing and marrying it, we will have a personality indicator altogether. So let us do a self-evaluation. Let us understand what is your personality. Take the test. Be as honest as possible. Only when you see the result, you will understand what is this chart about it. Evaluate the result. Do you actually concur with the result? Do you agree to the result? If you do not understand it yourself, and I am sure about it, if you take that MBTI test, which will comes around it, you will understanding what kind of person you are. We'll talk about the motivations out here. It is about Abrams Maslow's theories of American motivation theory, in where he said about the physiological requirement, safety requirement, social need, esteem need, and the psychological, or should I say, self-actualization needs altogether. Way back in the middle of the third term of the 20th century, created the famous hierarchy of needs, which takes precedence. Is absolutely, I've been telling it to you, physiological, social, safety, esteem, and self-actualization, of which only a fragment of the population comes around, and this is how the population goes about it. Here we have already stated around it, it's the self potential. It's the base amount where people are actually at the lower end of the society who would be looking only at earning for their food and clothing and shelter. People at the middle level would be looking to ensure that the food, clothing, and shelters, there is no dearth about it. There is no avoidance. There is always a security. Then probably in the social need is where we're talking about the companionship, acceptance, love, and in the esteem need is where we are providing for people elsewhere, and that is what responsibility and recognition is all about. So talking about the motivating needs, if we to go about with the personality as an emotional and leadership influence, you need to understand trust, leadership, anatomy, team, and security. This is where we can marry each other's all together around it, as in what kind of belonging, teams, leadership that. So building a team, why would somebody wants to become a part of a team, or probably for that matter your team if you want to go around it? Remember, an effective team feels only one if they do something worthwhile. This is what is most important. They enjoy a more satisfying work life, have a better control over their destiny, or should I say the jobs, make contribution which they enjoy when doing about it, learning a new skill, recognizing and respected. This is how we form a team orientation. This is what is a must that needs to be done. Building a team is operated within the leaders and the member. There has to be a complete, clear, transparent communication between them. They should have a sense of ownership to the problem that they are facing, or a sense of ownership that the fact that they're going to achieve a certain objective that they're looking for. They would be sharing their ideas mutually, and there will be cross fertilizations of ideas wherein everybody is going to show enough amount of respect for others in terms of ideas and extend a cooperation in terms of execution of the ideas. There is a sense of more of a we feeling and less of an I and a we me feeling. So we will always work around it. Remember, they say there is no the team is work is not written as TIM, right? The team we can pronounce it a team, but there is no I in the team. It is only all about E and A. So there it is what we come across. Team is TEAM, right? So this is what tells about it. The team, there is no I's, there's no me. It is always we and so building a team, understanding and using each other's know-how about each other's personal life, know-how about each other's help, support them, so appreciations. That is what we are looking. You have a sense of loyalty towards the group and its member, encourage development of other members, recognize the differences, and so on and so forth. So building a team is playing a variety of roles, serves as a leader, serves as a teacher, serves as a coach, make decision based on fact, not on emotion, not on personality, not on your biasness, not on your preferences as the case. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.